Moving on to a big game for Canada coming up on Tuesday, taking on the U.S., and it's right here on One Soccer at BMO Field. A massive opportunity for Canada. The United States not playing their best ball right now. Canada needing this win to qualify to win the group and make the semis next summer, but also in their hopes of making the World Cup 2022. This is a massive opportunity for them. What do you expect to see from the Canadian side?
Yeah, well, they're all saying that they want to make 2022. You know, I think there was a lot of people looking ahead to 2026 and maybe just seeing this next World Cup as a little bit of a team that's a work in progress, but they want to qualify. They're here to make the next World Cup, and I think we're just waiting for Canada to produce that big statement win. You know, this team has so much talent, so much promise. We know about some of the players, Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, who are making this something of a golden generation for Canada, but we still haven't seen them beat, you know, a real significant CONCACAF opponent. And as you said, USA not playing their best stuff right now, missing Jozy Altidore. BMO Field, this feels like a big opportunity to get that statement win.
I'm not sure that you can overstate the importance of this game, because obviously you've mentioned the World Cup implications, and I believe that Canada can make the World Cup in 2022. But the way they're going to have to do it is through the hex.
Yeah.
So obviously this is a huge match for them. They're catching the U.S., as you mentioned, at a time when the U.S. is not playing particularly well. Jozy Altidore, obviously we know his exploits and what he's done, particularly at BMO Field over the last several years with Toronto FC, and also things that he's done with the U.S. national team. This is a critically important game, and to me, it's also the first major test that we've seen for John Herdman's Canada side, outside of maybe that Mexico game at the Gold Cup. I think they felt that they maybe should have made the semifinal at the Gold Cup, but obviously had that second half against Haiti.
Yeah.
This is a big test for Canada and for John Herdman to see what exactly he's got and how good this team can be.
Yeah, massive opportunity for them. If they want to win, they need to at least score a goal. He has some great offensive options. Junior Hoilett, Jonathan David, Lucas Cavallini available in this one as well. What sort of attacking formation or what options are you expecting to see from Canada in this game?
It's tough. How do you get all these guys in the same lineup, right? For me, I really like what Lucas Cavallini brings to the team. I think he gives you a bit more grit and kind of, he goes to the dirty areas, brings other players into play. So I'd love to get him in the lineup. But then I also look at the way Jonathan David played at centre forward against Cuba and that goal he scored. And obviously there's tons of quality on the wings in Hoilett and Davies. So I'm probably maybe leaning towards, at this point, maybe Alphonso Davies starts on the bench. And you have David and Hoilett wide and Cavallini up front. That could be the best Canada team right now.
It's a great option off the bench.
It's kind of a tale of two teams. Yeah. Like, it's an embarrassment of riches going forward, to the point that we're talking about a Bayern Munich player being left on the bench for Canada.
Yeah.
But then you look at the back, and I think there are a lot of question marks there as well for John Herdman, but for different reasons, in that I don't know that he's really found the mix of players that he needs to be successful in terms of defending at the back. And again, that you look at the Cuba games, the clean sheets there, but that's Cuba. They haven't had a serious test, really since that Mexico game, and there have been very, very few tests since John Herdman took over this team.
Yeah, the defenders are going to breathe a sigh of relief knowing that Jozy Altidore is not in this game. What does that mean for their assignments defensively?
It's a big loss for the US for sure. I don't think the USA has another striker on the level of Jozy Altidore. Zardes is, to me, kind of just a light version of Jozy. He brings a lot of the same qualities, but just not as effectively, I don't think. And then Josh Sargent is a really exciting young player, but he is young and only really playing his first year in the Bundesliga. So it's a big loss for the US. I just think this Canada team has to defend as a group.
Yes.
We talk about the back four a lot, but I think there's got to be a group effort. Your defenders are going to be exposed if the shape of your team as a whole isn't right. And so that's, I think, what Canada needs to be focusing on, knowing that the personnel isn't the strongest at the back.
No Jozy Altidore is massive for Canada, because we know what Jozy Altidore can do. And when the original alignment or the lineup was announced, looked at that and go, you knew that Jozy Altidore was going to be in it, and you look at sort of the goals that he's scored in big games at BMO Field, the magical nights that he's had. If he did that for the U.S., obviously it's very bad news for Canada. Zardes, I agree. I think he can do a lot of the things that Altidore does. To me, he's just not as consistent. You go through spells with Zardes where he'll score, 3-4 goals in a 2 or 3 game span, and then he'll go for weeks without scoring at all. So not having Altidore is very good news for Canada.
Yeah, should be a great game anyway. We will take a short break now. When we come back.